Hello and welcome to Reminiscences. In our edition today, we have Chief Chukwuemeka Ezeife, who was a federal permanent secretary and a former governor of Anambra State between 1992 and 1993, and now quietly retired, but still active as the chairman of the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Chief Ezeife, I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you. And thank you also for adding to this dissemination of knowledge and information.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Your biography suggests that you didn't quite go to secondary school. You are kind of self-taught. You taught yourself at home before you took your WAEC examination and then went to University of Ibadan. I wonder, this is quite rare in those days. Why did you follow that route?
Like your question, it's not option. I didn't follow that route as such. I was forced into that route, and God is great. God is great. I finished primary school and went to trade.
You went to?
Trade.
Okay.
I went to become an apprentice.
Apprentice, okay.
Apprentice.
You want to be a trader?
Trader. First of all, some medicine, and then motor spare parts. Halfway, after about 2 years, I started feeling that I should go to school. So I went back to the village to teach in primary school. And after teaching for some 2 years, again, I thought I should go back to school. So it is the doing of the Lord. While I was moving around, I met one teacher. Got to his house and saw rapid result. I said, what is this? He told me it's a correspondence course. I said, okay, what is it for? He told me about GCE. That if you want to do GCE, you can get in touch with rapid results and take correspondence courses from them. And then you are qualified to take exams, GCE ordinary level, and eventually GCE advanced level. That's what happened. And I wanted to say it a little more detail so that some young people listening to this can know that at no time you consider the door closed. I went to teach in a school in Osume in Anambra State. And it was at that point that I discovered Rapid Result College. And I said, oh, so I can make up for my not going to secondary school. And I started applying for correspondence courses. And that went very well. I had no time. I would teach. I was headmaster of the school. I would teach up to about 3 o'clock. And then when others leave, I teach an extra class. And by 5, 6, I go to the bush with my correspondence courses. I started to read. I did it for a month. Then by Christmas, I go to Onitsha, where my young elder brother lived. And there, I read for all of Christmas. And when my elder brother came back from the village, he didn't recognize me. I had changed so much because of no sleep and long continuous reading. So, well, that is how it happened until I took the qualifying test, 1959. Took the ordinary level, 1960. I took the advanced level, 1961. And I was lucky in all of those. And then, by the time I got my results for advanced level, they have virtually closed admission at UCI, University College Ibadan. I had also applied to University of Nigeria, second year of its existence. So, eventually, I was admitted to both schools. 1963, we took another exam, and I beat everybody in the faculty. And I was given a faculty prize, Faculty of Economic and Social Studies, as the best student. So I thanked God. And in many ways, it has been divine.
In the 60s, you had this opportunity to go to Harvard. A lot of people have had Harvard later, but you are one of the first, I think, to go there and not only do a master's, but a PhD degree.
Yes, from the Ministry of Economic Development, I was sent to a course, Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I worked with Arthur D. Little. They took people from developing countries to train them for their countries. I was one of them.
Is it an accounting firm, Arthur Doolittle?
No, it is, Arthur Doolittle is a consulting firm, big consulting firm. I went there and we were about 30 from different countries. And
this must be your first trip to America, right?
Pardon?
Your first trip
outside Nigeria?
Outside Nigeria.
No.
Okay.
You know, in those days, there were opportunities. The ministry sent me to Japan to do some courses. And I went to Japan. Very good. I was lucky. Came up tops in the class. Only 3 months. It's not a long one. And then this after the little one went there again. That was about 1 year.
This is early 60s?
A very early 60, 1960. Oh, not early 60. But Japan was 1965. US, Cambridge was 1966. And then later on, I came back 1969, Harvard.
So you went back to America 69?
Yes. The thing, God plans your life and you think you make more that you did this, did this. After the little, my way to Harvard was made easy because professors from Harvard were teaching us at the little. So they had known our capabilities. So when I applied, I was taken. But as I must say how it happened. I finished the course at Little. There was war in Nigeria, civil war. So I couldn't come back to Nigeria. So I went to Uganda, Makerere University, to teach as a lecturer. It was one of the best parts of my life. The president there will invite us to come and discuss economics and other things for him. And after that, from there, I applied to go back to Africa.
How long did you stay in Uganda? And how was the experience?
Oh, great. Uganda is a beautiful country. I stayed 2 years. And had the best experience. But the war in Nigeria made it a little more difficult because they were inviting me to talk on the TV to talk about the war in Nigeria. But I was teaching economics and I enjoyed Uganda. That's everything, language. The Buganda people, their English is most interesting.
Were you a bachelor up to that point, or have you gotten married?
I was a bachelor. But then I went back to America 1969 and went into Harvard and married almost immediately.
In America?
In America. One Igbo lady who was doing a course in Boston University. Got there and married her. So I enjoyed Uganda. I enjoyed Uganda.
When you went back to Harvard, okay, you said, of course, the war prevented you from coming back to Nigeria. Sure. I assume your sympathy would be with Biafra at that point.
Of course. And I didn't ask any questions. How ready were we for war? I didn't ask. But they went to war.
Yeah, but did you also contribute to the war effort on the Biafran side?
Why not?
What did you do?
I did. And it's a pitiable something. It's not even too good to remember. We saw pictures of our children, our young ones, dried up. Some of them stomach like this. You see the bones. So we, even at Harvard, found that we cannot just go and study. We go out begging for money with pictures of the children. So one day, I was begging at one side, my wife was begging the other side, and all of a sudden somebody came and told me my wife fainted. They took me to go and meet my wife. As soon as I saw her on the ground, I fainted too. But I didn't stay too long on the ground. And we took her, and eventually she recovered. It wasn't easy for any Igbo boy or girl in America or any Europe or Europe. You had to go and beg for money and give to some people who transmit to home.
At that point, was the Civil War wounds, have they started healing for you as an Igbo intellectual coming back to Lagos?
Yes, Lagos, is a kind of place that everybody belongs. Lagos was very good. So once I came back, after a few months, I adjusted fully. I was no longer afraid because we were told that things were rough. But when I got back, everything was... Olufalaye and I lived in the same compound. And it made it easier by far because Falaye is a very intellectual person. So I had a good time staying in Lagos as a civil servant. And I was properly guided and promoted. And eventually I had to transfer from the Ministry of Economic Development to Ministry of Transport. And there I found very good experience. I was moved up. I was allowed to do things. And in those days, if you are really intelligent and well qualified, you enjoy the civil service.
At what point did you become a federal permanent secretary, and how was that experience?
Okay, that one took about how many years? I became PAMSEC 84. So PAMSEC, first of all, I was chairman, productivity, prices and incomes board. And it was there I felt like a superman. I had two incidents that made me feel so good. The Russians came to us. We were trying to negotiate something with Russians. The man they brought was so arrogant to discuss with us. So he talked like he's talking down to blacks, monkeys. And after he finished, sometime I talked to him. I made it like intellectual. He was not able to stand this thing. When he went back to Russia, he died. I felt guilty because I made him feel inferior to black, and probably that hurt him enough to kill him. The same kind of feeling I got when the World Bank sent a team to Nigeria. They came to my office to propose a theory, propounded a theory. And I was looking at them. After they finished, there were 6. This person talked, this person talked, this person talked about theoretical economics and how it applies to Nigeria. I looked at them because, of course, I wanted, my mind told me something is wrong with their presentation. And they believe they are the higher class, World Bank. So I decided to go slowly, removing the assumptions, the foundations of their theory, and at the end of it, each and every one of them said he's surprised at my presentation, and he agreed.
You and Chief Olufalaye, who you mentioned was your colleague, were then the economic gurus of the military government, because by then the military had come in. And many will accuse you of being the fellows who brought us structural adjustment program, which was put as a Nigerian type or model. Even if you rejected the World Bank recommendation, but there was an acceptance of the structural adjustment, removal of subsidies and such policies, especially under the Babangida government.
Yes, Olufalaye, myself, Ayo, Oyegu, and a few more can tell you that we caused problems. Olufalaye made his own open when he said there's no problem with money. The country is too rich. I tell you one thing, we worked hard. We worked hard. And the ministers of those days recognized the problems. They didn't know enough to fight with us.
So you are the super PAMSECs.
Well, we became. But let me tell you a story. Chiroma, for example.
Which one, Liman or Adamu?
Adamu Chiroma.
Yeah.
He was Minister for Agri.
Yes.
And sometimes, because I was good, they said I was good, I was removed, I was taken from cabinet office to deal with import licenses. There are problems on the ground. So I went to my minister who was supervising me. He's not my minister, but And we disagreed. That's why I'm praising the ministers of those days. We disagreed. He said, no, this is the way I want it. I said, okay, it will not work. He said, okay, whether it will work or not, this is where I want it. I said, okay, sir. Of course, you talk and go as a minister. We implement the job. So I did exactly as I told him I would do. And you know what? My proposal worked so well. There was when he discovered I did something totally different from what he was directing. In the presence of the press, he spoke Arabic and in English he said, "May God never bring me close to this man again." Now, Chiroma is a good man. When the thing worked perfectly, he called the press again and told them, what I said about him, I withdraw. His proposal was superior to mine, and he has the courage to insist on doing what he thinks is good for the country instead of following my orders. So that was those days. These days, the ministers, I think, cajole the officers and do things corruptly. In our days, what were you? If you are a minister, yes, you take the final responsibility. But since we have gone through the thing, we tell you what will work boldly. And if you refuse, we argue until you see the point. Or if you insist, we go and do what we think will work for the country.
After your career in the civil service, permanent secretary, very rarely for an intellectual, you also went into politics. I wonder what motivated you into that step.
Well, I don't know what to say. I was a permanent secretary, got around, and I saw politicians and what they were doing. I'm from Anambra State. So I said, why should I not make more sacrifice? I should go and become governor of Anambra State and raise Anambra to the skies. So I wrote a plea to God. I said, God, if my becoming governor of Anambra State is for my personal interest, God, please make it impossible. But God, if my becoming governor of Anambra State is for the improved welfare of Anambra people, God, please make it easy. God never made it easy, but He made it possible. So we had a rough time during our campaign. 13 people from my party, SDP, going for the governorship. At one time, Aton Zeriba wanted to be the decision maker. He got us to his palatial house. Each person had a room to himself.
13 of you. 13 of you.
Yes. And we will sleep in his house, enjoy food that we can't afford.
Even as a former PAMSEC?
Oh, yes. Oh, the former PAMSEC has no money. Oh, yeah. And by then, the pension had not been worked out. So there was no money. Aston Zeriba gave us very good reception. And then he gave us paper to sign that whoever is brought out from among us, the others should support him. We went to our bedrooms, slept, woke up in the morning, then they asked for the signed documents. Everybody else signed, except me.
You didn't say?
I didn't sign.
Why? I thought that was a very reasonable
Very
idea.
reasonable idea, but I chose to come out for governorship. I didn't want that president to choose for me. I had chosen to come out, and I've come out. And so
you didn't accept Arthur Ezeife as a godfather?
No.
Yeah.
No. And then, do you know what he said to the people?
No.
He said, Dr. Ezeife will be governor over my dead body. And he drank his whiskey. My chairman, my party chairman from my area, local government, came back from Arthur Ezeife, very furious. You spoiled everything.
Because you didn't sign that paper. Yes.
Let's go back to him and beg him. Let's go back to him. I looked at him and I said, don't worry. I'm not going back to beg him. God knows what he wants to use me for. So he kept quiet. I came to Lagos and met Arthur Ezeife in a hotel compound. He said, Arthur, you said you would die. I said, okay. Do you want me to give you something? He said, okay, tea. We entered the hotel. Arthur gave him tea. He said, Arthur, you will not die, but I will be governor of Anambra State. And you will come to my lodge, governor's lodge, for lunch. He looked at me. He said, Dr. Ezeife, you know, everybody accepted that you were the most qualified. And our people want to go for you. But do you remember you are a Salvation Army member? Salvation Army is a tiny church in my village. He said, how many are you in the Salvation Army? Do you think you are going to compete with a Roman Catholic where you have thousands of people, or Anglican? Okay, I laughed. I said, Arthur, I understand you now.
So when you became governor, which you eventually became, how did you cope with people like Arthur Ezeife?
Oh yeah, very well. Arthur Ezeife was fantastic. He just died. He was fantastic. When my elder brother died, Arthur Ezeife brought a big truck with drinks and food, etc., and served the people by himself.
When you were governor?
Yes. We were friends since then, forever, until...
Yeah. How will you compare your tenure to that of Mr. Peter Obi, who is now touted as one of the stars of Anambra?
I worked for about
only a year and a half?
1 year and some months. And many people who could think, who knew. Because I called all those who planned for Biafra science. And they gave me plan for agriculture, plan for industry. That's where people are saying I plan.
Yes.
Yes, most of those advanced things.
You are planning for the future, but you didn't
I didn't implement. But if it comes to roads, I built more roads than any other governor. If for practical jobs, I did a lot of them. But I wasn't talking.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was really going to.
Yeah, you have more time ahead, yes. But did you save money like Peter Obi?
I saved more money than he did. And it was, I'm sorry you are asking, because I was famous for having saved money. Left a lot of money. And then it was not like Peter Obi's time. What I saved was 400 million. Naira.
Of those days.
And it was unheard of. Peter saved 75 billion. But that was decades after me. So let me tell you something about Peter. I'm a proud man. I believe nobody can say Peter B is better than myself in one respect. He is more economical. And he made a statement, he lived by it. Public money must be used for public welfare. Public money must be used for public welfare. And he lived by it. Let me tell you how I know. When I was governor, I had people who carry my bags. I'm a governor, so I have to work without bothering myself with carrying my bag.
Yeah, I got your walking stick too.
Yeah. But long years after I became governor, after I left governorship, and saw Peter at the Enugu airport, he was carrying his own baggage. And that was unusual. He was the only governor I saw carrying his own bag. He was very economical. And he meant using public money for public welfare and not using it for his own personal welfare.
It seems the whole hope for Igbo presidency is invested in Mr. Peter Obi. Am I right?
Oh, the way I will answer you. If you ask me, God has taken over the events of Nigerian politics. After that big money affair, APC primary, PDP primary, and the highest bidders took everything. I think we are entering a new Nigeria where men without conscience who have been messing up God's great design for Nigeria are being pushed aside. Peter is not for, Igbo, but Peter doesn't know whether you are Igbo or Fulani or Yoruba or whatever. What he knows is his principle, economic principle, development principle, how to lift Nigeria to answer what God wants it to answer, to be a superpower and raise the respect and dignity of all blacks on earth. That is what I see as God's purpose for Nigeria. And that's what I see Peter coming to do. He's not doing it for Igbo. We don't want favors from government. We want fair playing ground. Look at your village. If you see Igbo there, and they're doing well. Look at everywhere in Nigeria. You will see our people there. We have voted with our feet for one Nigeria. Peter is more favorable to Talakawas. He will banish Talakawa. He will banish Almajiri. He will make Fulani happy and loved in Nigeria. He will make Yoruba, all groups in Nigeria will be happy the way they will find a great country, Nigeria, transformed by Peter Obi.
But sir, if you look at his antecedents, until only recently he was a PDP member. Indeed, the vice presidential candidate in PDP in 2019. So it doesn't look as if he is different from the politicians you have condemned in APC and PDP.
Peter is totally different. You see, when you are in politics, you mix with everybody. But if you are now picked and you are on your own, you show whom you are. Peter is not like other politicians. He's better than myself. I've shown you how he was carrying his own bag when I will usually give it to somebody that was hired. So with Peter, it's a matter of God. I think God has taken over, and he will do what he planned for us, Nigerians, whether you are Igbo or Yoruba. I think a new Nigeria is manifesting. After all that dirty, enough is enough. That seems to be what they are telling us. Enough of deceit, enough of cheating, enough of corruption, enough of comprehensive corruption. God is taking over Nigeria. And the people who are pushing this image of a new Nigeria are unrepentant. The young ones, if you take your WhatsApp, look what the young ones are doing, what they are saying. They don't care about me.
There's a lot on the social media, admittedly, but it seems still driven by this desire and ambition for Igbo presidency.
No, as for that, let me start again. We, the Igbo, have voted with our feet for one Nigeria. Look at this compound. Of course, it is given to me by government, but I built this. There is no Ghana must go back. I will use to pack this to go back to my village. And that is the same thing. Anywhere you go in Nigeria, more than 65% of modern buildings belong to Igbo people. So, why shouldn't we be part of the politics? No Igbo man.
Yes.
No Igbo man wants to live where he is. We are brought up by a principle which says, where you live, you develop. So, all of us, I don't know the exceptions except the thieves who like money more than the truth. Otherwise, all of us, everywhere you go in Nigeria, we make home of it. A home, not a home by pretense. What you don't have in your house there, you've tried to put it where you are living. So, I want you to go to details in whatever you want to get out. Because I am not a rare Igbo man. I'm just typical. And the way I feel for you, for him, is the way I feel for any person.
So it suggests a kind of passionate belief in the need for the Igbo. They have to be president.
Why?
Otherwise,
the question I'm asking you is, why not? You have just listened to me. The Igbo are the people who make Nigeria look like a nation. Because everywhere you go, you see them. Now, the North has monopolized executive power at national level. That is presidency. The Igbo had spent only 6 months as executive power holder in Nigeria. Yoruba, Obasanjo, 3 years as a military head, 8 years. Sibanjo, 8 years. We have only 6 months of Igbo headship of Nigeria. Are we slaves? Only slaves don't take.
But isn't this, in a democracy, isn't this achieved through negotiations, through voting. And you've lived in America.
Look,
So it's not given.
it is not given, but you don't spite some group and say, you are not going to be president. If you say, you are not going to be president, the person you tell will try to be president.
Of course.
We think we deserve to not be slaves in the country of our birth, but to have equal right with everybody. If we are asking for president, because every other group, we are about the tripod. The tripod, if you go by that, you see, we have only 6 months. And remember how our man was removed from office. He was tied to a car, driven until he died. General Ironsi. That is what we have seen here. And we want to be president, not only just to answer president. You know that if an Igbo man properly brought up becomes president of Nigeria, like Peter, the Americans will know we are coming. The British will know we are coming. Nigeria will have a place in the United Nations in managing world affairs, not allowing Russia to go and clean out Ukraine. No, this is a change is coming to Nigeria, and that change will be good for every Nigerian.
Let me raise another issue very passionate to the Igbo. That's the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, the IPOB leader. The Southeast has become also a theater of conflict.
Violence.
Yes, violence. And it seems elders like you are saying, release Nnamdi Kanu and everything will be.
Okay.
It goes against logic. If this is the guy who inspires this violence.
Okay, very good. Number one, Nnamdi Kanu inspired no confidence, no violence. This man, Nnamdi Kanu, inspired no violence. He's not a terrorist. He's asking for no special privilege. He's asking for Igbo man not to be slaves, not to be slave in Nigeria. That we have a right like all the other, not a special right. I've told you, the presidency, when he came to the south, he went to southwest and south. South is not a major tribe. But it got presidency before us. And we are saying, please, what I'm talking about is presidency. But Nnamdi Kanu made some contribution to Igbo cause. The President Buhari seems to be making effort to push the Igbo out of Nigeria. The young men only reacted to what the president is doing. Our exclusion, our intimidation, all kinds of things being done against the Igbo. So, Nnamdi Kanu raised the issue. Why are we being treated this way? And he has done nothing illegal. He didn't carry arms. All that he did was ask questions.
What of his followers? They seem to be carrying arms and literally.
Well, I will go to that.
Yes.
Now, Nnamdi Kanu did not offend any law, did not break any law in Nigeria. Something happened. I'll be very honest. I'll be very honest. You look, if I take time now to tell you what has been done against my people. That's NIA. Just in front of NIA, Nigeria Intelligence Agency. Do you know that not one Igbo is in Nigerian Security Council? One third of the tripod is not there.
That has been raised many times, that no security chiefs among the Igbo.
No. This is NIA, the National Security Council. No Igbo. Our boys are not getting jobs when they finish. They go into the secondary school with 300 and something average. And your people in Katsina will go with the four average. And when they come out of the school, you get them employed. Our people will be languishing.
Let me accept, sir, there are genuine Igbo grievances. What we're talking about is why should that be turned into violence? Especially against, let's say, the Hausa traders living in the southeast.
Oh God, please. Thank you. It is important. It is important to explain that. Hausa, Fulani, Northerners who live in the east lived very peacefully with us. I was governor, and every event, the Hausa committee will come to me.
I'm talking about recently, sir.
I know. I'm trying to tell you something.
Ordinary people being attacked. Just for
I'm telling you what happened.
Yes.
So, eventually, you are brought in other nationalities into Nigeria. And those other nationalities are criminals, they are bandits, they are thieves. Some of them we call headsmen, they are not headsmen. So these people came, rape, without kill, and take a cow to cassava plantation, yam plantation. So let me tell you what is practical. The Fulani leaders from all the south, east, came here. One of the leaders started crying. He showed me pictures of his children, killed and cut up. And he spoke Igbo to me. I told him that others killed, even those who are killed, we are speaking Igbo. These are people with whom we are one. Started killing our people. Who are you going to, if I begin to knock this on your head, won't you defend yourself? So it is self-defense. And now what is happening in the East is hunger-induced reaction. It is like what is happening to the North in banditry. What's happening to the East now is Nnamdi Kanu brought a peaceful movement. Eventually, he made other people realize that we have something to say. May 30th of 2 years or 3 years ago, he said, stay at home. And we stayed at home. And people said, oh, Nnamdi Kanu is such a boss that he did nothing wrong. I've been unable to stay with him and talk with him. We planned a meeting, but Federal Army went to his house, killed people, and he escaped narrowly. So now we are begging Buhari release Nnamdi Kanu. Ask us for the undertaking that he will not turn violent. Because we are suffering now. Do you know what is happening in the East? One day, a businessman stays home. And all over the place, people are suffering, no food, stay home.
But his reply to you is that the law should take its course.
No, what law?
What?
What law has he broken? Even a court, high court somewhere, told the government to pay him for desecrating his rights. Now, there's no point. The truth must be told if we are to get away from any problem. Nnamdi Kanu has never been a terrorist, has never been a criminal. Well, you may not like the way he talks, but he has not done anything against the laws of Nigeria. And when we went to president, I was among those who went. We just laid it down as it was, and the president told us he will consider the presentation. And we went asking people who know him, who know his reaction. And they told us he was serious. Because the truth came out.
So were you disappointed that he now sort of
No,
went back on that stance?
Mr. President is president of the whole country. He has to deal with many kinds of people. I got a message that this man was to be released with Igbo of the Yoruba. But after when I was told both of them will be released, I heard only Igbo was released. So some people go back to plead with the president. Don't do this. Leave him. Let him suffer there. So I don't know. I was not speaking in favor of secession. Most Nigerian, Igbo people who are educated know that this country is better for us than Biafra will be. But then,
so you are now 84?
84,
yes.
November.
Yes, and you look very good for 84. What do you do to keep well?
Allah. Yes. God is in charge. God is in heaven. He knows what He wants for you. And I think that part of my appearance is maybe I don't keep anything against you. I think I have a clean heart. I don't have anything against anybody, and I don't want to have. So that whether you are following, if I'm talking with you, I beg you, come out of this domination business. Come out of this try to lead all the time. And don't hurt anybody. Yoruba will tell them, look, tell the truth to anybody you are dealing with. Igbo, I will tell them, stop with your loud mouth. You are too noisy. You are arrogant. So anybody I see, I take him as a child of God and talk to him honestly. If God keeps me going, I will keep doing that the same thing.
What do you do on a day-to-day to help God to keep you healthy?
Well,
you need to also take part in that.
I eat food. I do exercises. I read book. And I make friends and move around with them.
How is family life for you?
Family life. Very good though.
You are polygamist like us. Right?
I married 3 wives. But 2 of them were married by my wife. You know? I had my wife who just died.
The one you married in America?
Yes. We had 3 children, all girls. And this woman called me one night and said, look, given your background, you should have a son. I said, I don't mind. Then she keeps saying that. But one day I said, okay, if you want me to have a son, and I don't want to marry wife, if you must allow me to marry 5 women at the same time, so that if they're all pregnant and have girl, I will know that God doesn't want me to have boys. She said no, that I shouldn't have 5 wives. After 2 months, she came back and said, okay, marry your 5 wives. We went and married 2.
The same time?
Same time. The same year, we married the 2. 2 of them had boy. So, of course, the issue of 5 wives,
you don't need it.
I never needed it at all. I wanted a boy. Now I have 6 boys.
Yes.
So, God has been very kind to me in every dimension. My wife who died was really a gem of a woman. She was supporting me in every way. And the other 2 are good to me. I thank God. They try to feed me. The last one is sick. And I don't know. I'm praying God to make her well. So my life, I have enjoyed. And I don't have any reason to complain.
Now you live quietly in Abuja. You don't live in the East anymore.
I have never lived in the East for long, except when I was young. I was in Lagos, Abuja. But I go to the East, like when I went to bury my wife. Every month, I think I go to the East almost every month, but not quite every month. Or sometimes I will stay 2 weeks in the East and come back here. The East is frightening. Our boys, young youths, are learning things that is not in our culture. To kill somebody and cut off his neck, everybody my age will just feel that is not. So, help us. Now that you have a TV, please help us. These are the things that are new, and they are bringing problems. For an Igbo man to take a knife and cut a person's neck, that person is not Igbo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezeife, for this very enlightening discourse. We wish you many more years of active service to the country and happy life with your family. Viewers, thank you for joining us in this episode of Reminiscences, and I hope you enjoy us again. Goodbye.